The blizzard rolled in faster than anyone predicted. By the time I realized how bad it was getting, the road had already disappeared beneath a wall of white. I barely made it to the cabin before the wind started screaming through the trees like something alive. The place belonged to a friend of a friend off-grid, used mostly for hunting season. No neighbors, no cell service, just trees, snow, and silence. Or at least, that's what I thought. The power went out around 8 p.m. I wasn't surprised. I lit a couple of lanterns, layered up, and told myself I'd ride it out till morning. I'd survived worse storms than this. Still, there was something about the wind that night. It didn't rise and fall. It stayed constant, like the cabin was trapped inside a tunnel. Around 9:30, I found the emergency radio. It was an old thing tucked into a drawer beneath the kitchen counter. Hand crank, scratched plastic casing, the kind you only notice when everything else stops working. I turned the dial, expecting static. Instead, I heard a man's voice. "If anyone can hear this, do not open your door." I froze. The signal crackled, but the voice was clear enough to make my stomach tighten. "I don't care who they say they are. If you hear knocking, crying, or someone calling your name, do not let them in." My first thought was that it was a recorded broadcast, some kind of emergency warning, but the tone didn't sound official. It sounded tired. I leaned closer to the radio. "Hello," I said, feeling stupid the moment the word left my mouth. There was a pause. Then the man spoke again. "You're standing near the kitchen counter, by the sink." My breath caught. Slowly, I looked down. I was exactly where he'd said I was. "Don't move," the voice said. "It listens for patterns." I whispered, "Who are you?" Another pause. Longer this time. "I was you," he said finally. "Last winter." The radio crackled, and for a moment the signal nearly vanished. When it came back, the man's voice was quieter. "There's something out there that learns people. Their voices. Their habits. It waits until the storm, when help can't come." As if on cue, I heard it. A knock. 3 slow taps against the front door. I didn't move. Through the radio, the man whispered, "Don't respond. It gets closer when you do." The knocking came again, harder this time. "Hello," a voice called from the other side of the door. My voice, perfectly copied. "I know you're in there. It's freezing, please." Every instinct in my body screamed at me to run, to hide, to do something, but I stayed frozen in place. The radio crackled once more. "It can't come in unless you invite it, but it tries everything." The knocking stopped. For a few seconds, there was only the wind. Then I heard footsteps on the porch, slow, deliberate, moving toward the side of the cabin, toward my bedroom window. "You need to stay awake," the voice warned. "If you fall asleep." The radio went dead. No static, no signal, nothing. I didn't sleep that night. When morning finally came, the storm had passed. Rescue crews found me sitting on the cabin floor, radio clutched in my hands. They asked who I'd been talking to. I told them about the voice. They exchanged a look. "There hasn't been anyone out here since last winter," one of them said. "Guy stayed in this cabin during the storm. Never made it out." They searched the cabin before leaving. There was no emergency radio. Just one thing outside that didn't make sense. 2 sets of footprints in the snow. One leading away from the cabin, and one circling it.